All right. Uh, I realize you have to be careful that your inner critic is not talking negatively to you and keeping you from your potential, um, and the things that you could be doing. Um, Sometimes the inner critic is actually negative things that people have said to us, um, that are like planted their seed and they like uprooted up in our thoughts. Um, we weren't even thinking that way. Um, Sometimes we have to evaluate our thoughts and make sure that we're not being super critical of ourselves, especially that we're not telling ourselves that we can't do something that we can do. And it's really interesting thing watching your thoughts because they go by really fast. And you don't even realize that you're telling yourself something negative, because like it's just like kind of like ingrained in us. And a lot of times I realize it comes from other people's thoughts or influences or what they said, planting their little weeds. They're not even seeds, they're weeds. They're planting their weeds in our thoughts and they're springing up. And these people aren't even around anymore. And I give you an example, like, last week I got really excited because I decided, after talking to some friends who've had some success, that I was going to grow spinach and kale in my backyard and I'm going to start a garden. And I was really excited. I went to Home Depot and I got my dirt. um and I brought it back, and I had like, and then I found like some other stuff I'm gonna plant too. I'm just gonna have a regular old garden. And I was really excited, and I put all this stuff in my backyard, and then my neighbor felt that he was gonna give his 2 cents. I didn't even ask him his opinion about my garden. He gonna tell me how some old ladies at his church said they was gonna plant a garden. And then they just planted this garden, and then nobody was there to pick it. And he don't see why people planting food and they're not gonna take care of it. You know how it's a lot harder to take care of food and flowers and all that than it is to cut grass. And I'm like, but I don't want any grass. I want to plant food that I eat. Okay, but who's gonna take care of it? And so I went in the house after he said all those things to me, and don't you know that he had planted weeds in my thoughts? Because I started to feel like, oh, am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to pick it in time? Is it going to be too much for me? Like, I was thinking those things, and it wasn't immediate though. It was like the next day. I started to feel down about it. Like I was no longer excited about planting my garden. I hadn't even started yet. I just got my dirt. And I realized that he freaking planted some weeds in my thoughts. And like he's talking to me about some old ladies. Like, what do I have to do with the old ladies at his church? If they would have told me it was there, I would have gone picked the food and cooked it myself. I don't know. But anyways, okay, so the whole point is though, but like it planted these seeds, and I was being critical of myself now. Did I buy too much? I went to Home Depot and I bought my dirt and I got these seeds, but like at the same time, I'm like, but I still am really excited. Like, I found these mushrooms that I like to eat. Like, I go and spend like $5 a carton on these certain type of mushrooms I really like to eat, and I found the freaking seeds. I can have my own mushrooms. I don't have to pay $5 a carton anymore. So I got back excited. But the whole point is, it brings me to all these seeds that are planted in our minds that are not our own, and if we did not have these critics, these people walking around speaking about their life, okay, maybe for him it's harder to tend to food than it is he'd rather cut grass. What am I going to do with some damn grass? I can't eat grass. Like, I gotta pay somebody every week in this. It rains out here like crazy, grass growing like crazy. People have to pay people every week. I'm not doing that. I'd rather pick some food. I'd rather have some pretty flowers, whatever. So anyways, but it got me to thinking about how these things creep up in us to influence us negatively. And you may have noticed a lot of people talk about affirmations, speak affirmations, speak positive things over your life. I am, I am, I am. And a lot of I am goes back to actually scripture, because when Moses asked God, who should I tell the people sent me? And he said, I am. Tell them that I am sent you. So a lot of people say when you put I am after something, you are invoking the God within you. And that's where creation starts. I am creator, right? I am a creator. And I am a gardener. So when you speak over yourself, when you're speaking positive affirmations over yourself, you are uprooting those weeds that people and life and society have planted in your mind to tell you that you can't do things that are positive for yourself. Do things that maybe are different from what everyone else is doing, because we're individuals. We're not all monolithic robots. And so therefore you may be different. You may have different ideas for your life, and that's okay. But there's always going to be some freaking know-it-all critic who's going to be like, you can't do that, or I knew somebody who did that and it didn't work, and I don't know why you want to do that. You should just you should just cut some grass, and just leave it alone, like, why are you doing that, So I found, actually, which was interesting, that our subconscious mind, which is, what's going on in the background, is working like some 96% of our day, and that actually our subconscious thoughts are actually ruling our actions. And so if our subconscious thoughts are negative, then we are walking around being doubters and not accomplishing anything because we feel like it's impossible. Like, small things probably are like impossible for me to do. I can't do this and I can't do that. That's for someone else, someone, other than me. Maybe people have like super genius to be able to do things like, plant food. So we use affirmations to speak to our subconscious mind to change the way that we are thinking. So it's like a purposeful time that we can speak positive things over ourselves, but really we're speaking to our mind, like saying, I am confident, I am strong, I am capable, I am brilliant, I am really intelligent, I am good with money. All these things, once your subconscious mind starts to get it through its head, and if you repeat it enough, then it starts to believe it about itself, and it starts to operate 90%, 6% of your day. And another way to access your subconscious mind is to, create tapes like hypnosis where you're like speaking to yourself before you go to sleep, or so the time when your subconscious mind is operating the most um, is like that time period right before you fall asleep or right before you wake up. And what they describe it as is like, you know how when a song is playing when you're asleep and it starts to enter into your dream, that's the time when your subconscious mind is listening. That's why it's playing in your dream. So if you put record on a tape or whatever, or a recorder, or on your phone or what have you, if you repeat things that you want your mind to create, then it will start to dream about it, think about it, and process it. And the way I would describe it is this: if you tell your subconscious mind to go do something, uh, it will. So let's say you're in a conversation with someone and you just can't remember, what is that girl's name? What was her name? What was her name? And you're all like, I don't know what her name was. And then, like, you get off the phone, and then 5 hours later, you're like, that girl's name was Ashley. And you call up your friend and you're like, her name was Ashley. That's because your subconscious mind was still doing the work. While you forgot about it and weren't paying any mind about what the girl's name was, your subconscious mind was working, spinning, checking the memories, checking all this stuff. And it was like, boop, Ashley. And that is actually scientific. We've all experienced this. This is proof that your subconscious mind is working in the background. So you can take this time to tell your subconscious mind things that you actually want to bring about, things you want to accomplish, attributes you want to have, and it will do the work for you. It will bring it to pass for you, and you'll be glowing and showing and shining. And, you know, like me, I'm about to go plant my garden for all the haters who said that I couldn't, because some old ladies